This wasn't Herobrine. Herobrine watched you from the trees. This waits for you inside your house. It started with players opening old worlds and finding structures they'd never built. Stone towers, always facing their bed, always raised at night, while the world was closed and no one was logged in. Mojang never coded this, but someone did, and unlike Herobrine, this thing was given a name. 3 numbers a developer left behind before he got fired. 303. 303 doesn't show up at random. 8 hierosic it's placed, and once it learns where you sleep, it stops hiding. This is everything we actually know about it. Everyone who plays Minecraft has heard the name. Almost none of them know where it really came from. The legend goes something like this. Inside Mojang, the studio that built Minecraft, there was a developer. Some versions of the story call him John. Others call him Malcolm. What every version agrees on is that Notch, the man who created the game, fired him, and that he did not take it well. Instead of leaving, he used what he knew. He knew the code. He knew the servers. He knew every backdoor he'd helped build himself, and he used all of it to get back inside the game. Not as a player, but as something wearing the shape of a player. A white parka, a hood that hid his face, and 2 eyes glowing red in the dark. He stopped being an employee. He became a number, and that's the part that makes the story work, because a ghost is hard to believe. A ghost belongs to campfire tales, but a game is made by people. People who can be fired, who can hold a grudge, who know exactly how the thing they built with their own hands is put together on the inside. A furious developer with access to the code doesn't sound like a legend. It sounds like something that could be true. And that little could is all a good fear needs to grow. That's the clean version, the schoolyard one, the one you can tell fast. But the first person who ever saw 303 didn't find some random hacker. He got an email, and then he vanished. December 10th, 2013. A player named Frankie wrote to a YouTuber known only as Speed. Frankie wasn't looking for attention. He was scared, and he wanted anyone, to tell him he wasn't crazy. He and 3 friends had been building on a private server, a survival city out in the middle of a desert biome. The kind of build that takes months. Walls, towers, farms, roads between the houses. 8 months of work, 4 friends talking over voice while they played, a world that was theirs and no one else's. Until the night one of them looked at the chat. There was a line none of them had typed. It said the player number 3 had run a command, /stop, and the entire server shut down on the spot. If you've played Minecraft, you know why that's wrong. /stop isn't a normal command, it's admin only. It kills a whole server from the inside. No player in that world had the power to type it. And yet something, numbered 3 done it, from inside a closed world, from inside something that was supposed to be theirs to control. They did what anyone would do. They went into the game files to find where it came from, and there they found something that shouldn't have been there. A modified client, a hacking program hidden among the files of a world they had built themselves from scratch. Frankie deleted it, and instead of stopping, things got worse. His antivirus shut off on its own, no warning. The cursor started moving without him touching the mouse. The keyboard stopped answering him. And in front of his own eyes, something opened. Minecraft had dropped him into a world he didn't choose, walking his character toward a cave he didn't want to see. At the back of that cave, still waiting, a hooded figure that introduced itself as the fired employee, as 303. Frankie went looking for answers on the forums, and he found others. People who had seen the exact same thing, who sent him their own screenshots. One of them kept insisting it was just a texture pack, something installed, something explainable, until Frankie went through that pack piece by piece and there wasn't a single block, not one creature, with white skin. It wasn't a texture, it was something else. And then, on that forum, a profile he'd never seen before started messaging him. It said only a few words. It told him no one was going to believe him, that they'd think he was crazy, that he was next, and it logged off. Frankie sent that last email. And after that, no one ever heard from him again. When Frankie went quiet, Speed did the only thing he could do. He told the story. He uploaded it, put it where others could see it, hoping maybe that saying it out loud would keep him safe. It didn't keep him safe. July 2014, Speed was in the middle of a conversation, typing with a friend, a night like any other. And according to him, that's when it was his turn. It wasn't a figure in a forest. It wasn't a strange noise. It was his own computer turning against him, windows opening by themselves, files showing up with those 3 digits in the name. The feeling impossible to prove and impossible to shake that on the other side of the screen there was someone looking back. Because by then, 303 was no longer one person. That was the new detail, the one that made everything bigger and harder to believe, and somehow harder to dismiss. 303 had become a team, a whole group of hackers hiding behind the same number, each with their own alias, each one So the story went, one more former employee, all moving together with a single goal, not to scare you, to delete you. And the question left hanging was simple, and that's exactly what made it worse. If Frankie was chosen, and Speed was chosen, how did they choose, and what made you, sitting in front of your screen, any different from them? Over time, so many stories started repeating the same details that people put together a kind of list, the signs that 303 was already in your world. It always started with the files. They'd show up on your computer without you creating them, all carrying the same 3 digits. And if you deleted one, the world it came from would start to rot from the inside. Birch wood growing inside oak trees, as if the game had forgotten its own rules. Fire in a sky that shouldn't burn. Stone stacked in places no one placed it. Crosses turned upside down, driven into the landscape. Figures in the distance, at the edge of your vision, still, watching, gone by the time you looked again. And always, always, near where your character slept. And carved into some of those broken worlds, a single word, Yelp. Swedish. The language Minecraft was born in. It means help. Now picture it. It's night, you're playing alone, in a world you made yourself, one you know by heart, and you find a block you didn't place. A tower in front of your bed that wasn't there yesterday. A word carved in a language you don't speak, asking for help. Your first instinct is that you got it wrong, that you forgot, that it was you. And your second instinct, the one that freezes you, is the certainty that it wasn't. That was the detail that made 303 worse than anything before it. Because Herobrine, the ghost everyone already feared, Herobrine wandered. He'd appear in the distance and fade away. He didn't know you. He didn't care who you were. But 303 did. 303 knew your name, your world, the exact block where you felt safe. 1 in every 40 players, they said, would be chosen. Not hunted at random. Chosen on purpose by name. And there was something else, something almost no one said out loud, that Herobrine, the original monster, had shown up not to scare us but to warn us, that Herobrine knew what was coming and was trying to show us before it was too late. And then 303 did what good internet horror stories do. It stopped being a story. It became a phenomenon. The screenshots came, hundreds of them, each one showing a hooded figure where no one should have been. The animations came, made by creators who didn't even know each other and who still told the same nightmare. The videos came, thousands of them, between 2015 and 2007, each claiming a new sighting, each one feeding the next. And by then, 333 had earned its place beside the other 2 monsters Minecraft players whispered about at night, Herobrine, the ghost, and that third figure. No face, no skin, no nothing, a void in the shape of a player, the one they called Null. 3 legends in a game made for kids. And the kids started checking their own computers before bed, deleting every file with those 3 digits in the name, just in case. A made-up monster had crawled out of the game and onto their actual machines, into their real lives, into that hour of the night when the house goes quiet. And here's the twist almost no one sees coming. 33 got so big that people started adding it on purpose. Mods appeared that dropped 303 into your world, with thousands of downloads. Skins so you could dress up as it. The community no longer just feared 303, it invited it in, it built it a door. For years, no one could say where it really came from, until the one person who knew finally decided to tell the truth. In June 2021, the YouTuber who first documented Entity 3003, the same man who received that first email, uploaded a video and confessed. 3003 was never a fired developer. There was no John, no Malcolm, no team of hackers reaching through the screen. He had built all of it, alone. A story, written and released into the community, designed to do one thing, see how far a lie could travel if you told it well enough. It traveled far further than he ever imagined. It was an experiment. A social experiment to measure how a rumor spreads. How an entire community can take something one person invented in an afternoon and turn it into a real fear, shared, repeated by millions of people who never stopped to ask if it was true. When the truth came out, the community split. Some felt fooled, betrayed even. Others argued over whether it was right or wrong to invent something like this. But all of them, without exception, had already believed it. And here's the part that should unsettle you. Knowing the truth didn't kill it. People are still posting sightings today, years after the confession. Modders are still adding 303 to their worlds. The truth is right there, public, one click away, for anyone to read. And the fear survived anyway. It beat its own explanation. Because 303 was never really about a man who lost his job. That was just the shell. Underneath, it was always about the one question every player is afraid to ask when they're alone, late at night, in a world they thought was completely empty. What if the game knows you're playing? The legend says Herobrine came to warn us about 303, but no one ever asked the obvious question, the only one that matters. If Herobrine was the warning, what exactly was he warning us about? What is it that comes after 303? That's a story for another night.